I'm Candace.
And I'm Ripley.
And I'm John.
And this is Comicsplaining.
The show where we're going to talk about the Manic Pixie Dream Pop.
Oh, God.
So we've been watching just whenever we get together, we start watching the weirdest looking Marvel cartoon we can find at the time, or whatever looks stupid.
We've been through a lot of them.
We started with the X-Men series from the 90s, but the problem was, it's too good.
Yeah, it's good, and it was also spoiling comics. So that was an issue. So we stopped watching that, and then we watched, like, what the fuck did we watch? We watched,
Spider-Woman.
Yeah, we watched that Bad Avengers
recent.
cartoon.
Yeah.
We've watched a couple Bad Avengers cartoons.
We watched that bad Spider-Man cartoon where he goes to Counter-Earth.
And it ends on a cliffhanger.
Terrible. You know, I don't understand why they don't have ye old Spider-Man.
Do they have the newer 90s Spider-Man?
They do have the 90s Spider-Man. They don't have the OG, the one where everyone knows the fucking song from.
Right.
They have radioactive Spider-Man, not Spider-Man.
But now we're watching Iron Man Armored Adventures, which is not as bad as I remember it being.
It's rather good, actually. Surprisingly so.
Surprisingly not terrible.
The choice to make all the characters teenagers is undoubtedly strange. But once you get past that, the characterization is actually pretty good.
And you do have to get past a bit. Mandy does go to school with Tony Stark.
Yeah, that's true.
You just have to buy into the concept of high school AU. Iron Man high school AU.
But the main problem is that Pepper is a manic pixie dream girl who also wants to be a cop.
Pepper is fucking terrible.
She's so much.
So ironically, Teenage Mandy, not the weirdest or worst part of the show.
Not the worst character choice, no.
No. I don't know what to do with that one, but it's not the worst. There is worse here. And Tony, just give Rhodey a suit.
Tony and Rhodey are actually pretty damn good.
Tony and Rhodey are, like, perfect. I love Happy, but I wish he was more prevalent.
I want more Happy.
Oh, Happy, you're so pathetic.
It's delightful.
Because in the comics, Happy was Tony's best friend before Rhodey was.
I guess if they're shortchanging Happy, they don't have much to do with him.
I know. Delightful, though. He's just the dumbest lunk in the world. The greatest
Absolute
himbo of all time.
Iconic.
Yeah.
He's sitting there trying to spark two brain cells together.
And he's failing most of the time. Just cannot get that fire to light. It's unfortunate.
I love him.
Yeah.
So, now that we're not talking about Iron Man anymore...
Let's talk about Thor. Can you guys tell me what happened last time?
What happened last time? So, Pluto showed up because he wanted to duel for Thanos's... Not Thanos.
Thanos.
For Odin's fucking soul. He was in a death-off with Hela.
There we go.
Hela showed up.
Hela showed up first.
Because she wanted Odin... No, we're calling him Thanos now. Thanos' soul.
I was looking at Pluto, too, and somehow what I came up with was Thanos.
Yeah. So, Thanos died. You know, Thor's dad. Thor's dad, Thanos. He died.
I think I might have also been part of I saw the th.
Yeah.
And I went, Thanos!
Yeah, that's who it is. This is the Thanos comic.
Marvel's favorite dad, Thanos!
Oh yes, Theranos.
Thoranos.
Anyway, this is getting off track.
Okay, so yeah, Odin died, but he was already dead. They were on the way back. Hela shows up to claim the soul. Thor had done a thing to keep that from happening.
Uh-huh.
And it worked.
It did. And she was impressed.
She was impressed. But she turned around and said, but you gotta give me the soul, because if you don't give me the soul, he's gonna take it, and he's gonna be less nice.
He's gonna add it to his army of trolls that he has for some reason.
Yep.
How that works is beyond me, but welcome to Pluto.
At some point, Pluto does manage, I think, to kick Hela's ass because they just hate to see a bad bitch winning.
They do.
Well, he played dirty, to be fair.
But they also hate to see a bad bitch winning.
That's true.
I don't remember what happened next.
Well, after that, Pluto fought Thor.
Did Thor die again?
Right, he was gonna hit him, but then the fucking Norns were
There
like,
you go.
hey,
Oh.
Thor's not supposed to die now.
We need
Thor's
to
supposed to die in the future in Ragnarok.
And we need a Stan story as filler.
Yeah, so we can't let...
No, it was a special 200th episode, John.
Filler.
Issue.
Issue, I know. I knew it as I was saying it.
It's your turn, motherfucker!
It was a Stan filler. It
Yeah.
was actually one of the better ones.
Yeah.
To be fair, to be entirely fair to Stan,
Yeah,
it's one of his better ones.
Pretty good for a Stan story.
Yeah, for Stan's, as far
For
as Stan's
filling in the middle of another writer, pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were like, no, this isn't gonna work, so they broke Pluto's axe.
Yeah, so the full effect of the large Stan story was, Pluto, you don't get to kill Thor right now.
Yeah.
Oh, right, Thor was unconscious because he tried to grapple with Pluto, who as a death god was like, nah.
Yeah. You don't get to grapple Pluto. You just don't. It's the rules.
So, Thor didn't get his head chopped off and I guess got back up.
Yeah,
We're gonna find that out.
One minor weird...
We don't know if Thor got back up yet.
Hold on. There was one minor weird funny thing about what the Norns saw.
Right.
Odin was there.
Odin was there, yes.
Oof.
Yeah.
As we all know, he's dead forever, and he's never coming back.
Yeah, yes, and he's never going to die again in the future either. He can't because he's already dead. So how could he die multiple times?
John
in the
would
future?
definitely know because John has read future Thor
Yes,
comics.
yes, I've read many future Thor comics
I've read a
where
few.
Odin is definitely dead
Forever.
and he's been dead the whole time. He's been dead since the 60s.
You know, I have a problem.
70s.
The 70s.
Considering that Odin is dead, I have a very Odin-centric bingo card.
I mean, don't worry, you'll probably get a bingo.
Alright, well, that's basically what happened. So let's go ahead and get into Thor number 201 from April of 1972. Hey, that's this month.
Cool.
Anyway. Written by Jerry Conway, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Jim Mooney, and lettered by Artie Simek.
Nice.
Nice. 1 week ago, on a cold morning in Brooklyn,
That is an ugly-ass sail.
Yep.
a longship pulled into port. The dock workers blink in disbelief, hypothesizing that maybe it's some kind of fancy sport vessel.
The Renaissance Fair is in town. They're going ham with the advertising this year.
No, this isn't a Renaissance fair. It's LARPers! LARPers!
You know, I used to do zombie Nerf LARP.
Wow.
I got pulled into precisely one LARPing thing ever.
We didn't call it LARP, it was just Zombie Nerf Club, but it was zombie Nerf LARPing.
I have never LARPed, which is surprising given who I am as a person.
Yeah, I think that I was probably the least likely one to come
Yeah.
forward and say I was a LARPer, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And apparently no one is shocked I have done a single bit of LARPing.
Well, the dock workers are hypothesizing about this, at least until they catch a glimpse of Heimdall standing on its head.
He writes!
Nearly 7 feet tall and fully armored.
Holy shit.
Heimdall notices the commotion and turns to his buddy, Kamor the Small. That's his name. Odin sent them on a mission here, and causing problems with the locals was not part of it.
If Kamor's only like 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
That's why he's small.
Yeah. He waves his sword around, casting a spell that gives them a more earthly appearance.
What?
This only confuses the dock workers more, because while they could swear they were seeing a Viking warship one minute, the next it's a sleek pleasure yacht. Boats don't usually do that. As the disguised Asgardians pass, the mortal men swiftly decide to move on and not let that bullshit ruin their day.
Okay, this man is changing sizes every fucking panel.
I know.
Like, he's...
Kamor.
When he comes out, he's like, I don't know, shoulder high, then like rib high maybe, elbow high. Now he's down like, his head is down at hip level.
Mm-hmm.
Pick a size.
Kamor the inconsistent.
Yeah,
Also-
John. Not you.
Also, Heimdall, you should have done this earlier.
This is a strange look to choose.
Yeah, it is.
frankly.
A weird look for the 70s.
Well, the two men stroll off into the city, and we zoom out to view the Norns, once again gazing into the Twilight Well. They start to bicker, as apparently one of them changed the channel without asking, and the other two want to find out what's going on with Thor.
Yeah, Thor's more interesting. This show's boring.
Well, what's going on with Thor isn't much, because he's exactly where we saw him last, unconscious and at the mercy of Pluto, who himself is now Sans one axe.
Yes,
he chucked it off into the crowd.
He's so unable to do anything without an axe.
Well, he chucks the destroyed weapon aside and moves to attack his helpless victim with his bare hands.
I'm shocked.
It worked pretty well last time, so...
Yeah, actually.
At the urging of one of the watching sisters, the God of Thunder stirs and begins to sit up.
Guys, you're helping them a little too much. Is it really fate if you're making it happen?
Well, yeah, they're fate goddesses.
Okay. I want you standing when the end comes, so he doesn't wait until he stands and just grabs him.
Yeah.
So that makes a whole lot of sense. That's very consistent.
Thor tries to muster some bravado, but he's pretty far from recovered, so can't do much as Pluto grabs his face and starts doing something. It's not clear. But the Death God stands over him, gloating that the Asgardian has no words in the face of his imminent demise. While failing to notice the truth of the situation, Mjolnir, being a good hammer, is slowly wiggling its way back to its weakened master's hand.
Very good hammer. The best hammer.
Agonizing seconds pass before Thor's fingers wrap around the handle, but when that moment finally comes, he wastes no time, smashing Pluto across the jaw.
Nice.
Despite the force of the blow, it only grants a moment's reprieve. Exhausted and outmatched, Thor offers a silent prayer to his father for the strength to overcome this trial. As it happens, he might have more time to recover than he thinks. Separated from the combat, Pluto looks around the battlefield and does not like what he sees.
Ooh.
The Warriors 3 are nearby, sending more trolls to the dirt with every passing moment, their battle lust unquenched.
Ah, God, I love them. They're fighting pretty good, too. I love when they're actually, effective.
Yeah, and I think...
Even Volstag's being just as effective as the rest.
Booty bumped him.
No, ignore what I was saying.
He's being silly, but he's being effective.
He is being pretty effective. So Pluto does some quick math and decides that 2 + 2 = hold the Warriors 3 hostage until Thor gives up.
Yeah, that would work, wouldn't it?
Because you already defeated his death goddess, and the dude is barely holding on, so clearly what you need in this situation is more leverage.
Mm-hmm.
He traps the lads in a bubble of some sort, and demands that the Odinsons surrender. While somewhere...
Oh God, they're referring to him by his hair color again!
Yeah,
Jerry!
I think that's just a Jerry thing. He keeps doing it.
I'm gonna have to add it to the bingo card.
I think that's fair.
Oh God, where is it?
We have established a Jerry trope. What say you, fair hair?
Yeah.
Oh God.
No, it keeps happening.
Jerry.
Somewhere up the hill, the Vizier stands stalwart on the steps to Odin's tomb. Karnilla rushes toward him, pleading for his wisdom and magics to prevent Pluto's victory. The Vizier questions why she gives a shit what happens to Odin and Asgard, and she's like, well, I don't, but Baldur is here, and he's going to follow Thor no matter what I do, so I have to at least try to give a shit.
You know, in her defense, she can't menace Thor and the Asgardians if Pluto kills everyone.
That's true.
I mean, I know it is a case of it being all about a man, but, she really does feel, legitimately concerned for him, and I think it's pretty sweet.
Also, this is the most of an independent actor the Royal Vizier has ever been.
Sorry, not to interrupt what you were saying, you're correct. For some reason, I just really don't mind Karnilla and Baldur, even when Karnilla turns into, a weepy woman, oh, the man I love is in danger. I still don't really mind that much.
Right, I guess it is also kind of like you said with the Vizier. She does feel like more of an independent actor.
She does other stuff, so when she gets that way, it feels more natural.
It feels like a part of her character, not a plot thing that's just been shoved on her.
She's just her heart is just soft in this one spot.
And I mean, all the plotting to get that man, and she knows she spent a lot of effort.
She really did.
Trying to wrap that man around her finger, and it didn't quite work, but she loves him.
I don't know, it worked pretty well.
Baldur's boner time.
But yeah, the Vizier is becoming more of his own character, actually.
It's weird.
Would be nice if he had a name.
Yeah, does he ever get a name?
No.
That's
okay,
so funny.
when you take over Thor, you need to give him a name.
Yes, specifically when you take over.
No.
But I can cross off an
Cut that
appearance from the Royal Vizier.
When I take over
Yeah.
writing Thor, yeah, that's
Yes,
gonna
when
happen.
you take over writing the comic, so when you write the Royal Vizier, you can give him a name.
Oh yeah, the day that Marvel hires a fucking queer woman to write Thor, that's gonna happen. So the Vizier's like, aight, and shows her Odin's body while recapping some stuff that we already know.
Is that a new fit?
He's still in his race car
yes.
bed.
Yes,
What-
that is a new fit.
You're telling me, okay, they dressed his body. Sure, why not?
I mean, it's a funeral.
He's
That's
a
what
king!
That's what you do
They-
at funerals, typically.
they
You
do.
put them in new clothes.
They do.
Just as the Vizier explains the deal with Odin being dead and all, a voice refutes him from off-screen, claiming that the All-Father still lives somewhere. Hela appears in a blinding flash, towering over the two smaller figures who shrink back at her arrival. She says, or rather implies, while refusing to actually say, that Odin isn't really dead, at least not completely. And despite her wishes, it seems that he won't be going gentle into that good night just yet.
Yeah, he's not dead. She's saying he's not dead yet.
The goddess gestures toward the tomb's occupant with a crackle of power, then swoons with fatigue. The Vizier isn't one to look a gift horse in the mouth, but still wonders aloud why she would do this. Her answer is pretty obvious. She can't beat Pluto, and she's going to be damned if she lets him take the Allfather's soul, so she's returned his vitality in order to settle the whole business. Basically, her mentality is, if I can't have him, no one can, but in a decently cool way.
I think she's valid. Fuck
Exactly.
Pluto.
Yeah, exactly. After explaining this, she departs to her realm for a nap. With the tomb once more silent, the Vizier wonders if maybe he dreamed the entire encounter. Yet Carnilla assures him that his faculties are whole, as they both gaze in wonder at what lies before them. And we can probably take some guesses about what they're looking at, but for now, let's check in with Thor.
Odin glowing and also flexing?
Pluto sought to weaken Thor's resolve by using his friends as bargaining chips, but all he has succeeded in doing is making him mad again.
No shit. I don't know how he thought that was gonna go.
He does not take kindly to people using his friends and family as pawns against him,
Yeah.
and gives the Greek a swift hammer to the face as an answer. Because of this blatant refusal, Pluto does something to the boys. It's not clear exactly what, but they disappear as Hogan implores his lord to not grieve, but pray that they shall feast in Valhalla.
Oh, so they're dead. Okay.
Yep, they're
So
dead
now
forever.
you have no bargaining chips and Thor very, very angry.
You've made Thor mad.
We're doing really well here.
You won't like Thor when he's angry.
I do not think he will.
Thor rounds on Pluto, punching him so hard that he flies into a nearby tree. One of the trolls offers to help him, but he refuses and instead uses his Dragon Ball Z aura to crush the tree to bits.
He does indeed do that, yes.
The two move to fight each other, bare-knuckled. The underworld god has had quite enough of all this high and mighty talk of honor and loyalty. Thor is a young god compared to him, and knows nothing of true misfortune. He has never had to toil underground in a land that no other god would claim, banished and alone in the darkness. Honor is nothing but a cold lie to one such as him.
Wow.
The grapple is cut short as words ring out across the battlefield, causing God and Troll alike to turn in amazement and behold the sound and the fury of Odin. Hole.
Wow.
Wow, we never saw that coming.
Uh,
Hole, and in possession of his faculties once more. The assembled Asgardians stand stunned for a long moment before giving a victorious cry, which rouses even those who fell in the battle.
Jerry.
Let me cross off Deus Ex Odin here.
Yeah.
Pluto shrinks back from the presence, asking how this could possibly be. He gets no answers, as Odin basically says that it doesn't matter because it happened, and now the Grecian needs to concern himself with getting the fuck out of his realm.
Fair.
It's fair. The Death God stalks back to his ship and meekly loads up his remaining army, while shaking his fist and assuring everyone that he'll get them next time and their little dog too.
I'll get you next time, Gadget!
Next time!
Within the hour, Odin has reclaimed his throne and holds court with his people.
He has got another new face.
Yes.
Wow.
As Thor kneels before him, he wonders at the remaining concern in his son's face. "Ah, but of course," he says, "you must be wondering about Sif." But Thor is like, "Actually, I'm pretty upset that Pluto killed my friends not that long ago." So Odin is like...
Oh, we didn't recap that part at all.
It just happened a couple
No, Sif.
We forgot about what happened with Sif.
Well, Sif didn't appear in the last episode,
she
did she?
There was Tan and Niall and her, and then there was him.
Oh yeah, we were introduced to him.
And then the next one was the massive...
Who?
We get distracted by the massive Stan story.
Who was him?
He was a fragment of Ego.
What was his name?
Him.
Ego Prime.
Yes.
Yes, that. It was definitely Ego Prime.
Ego Prime, he's a fragment of the living planet, and he has the power to rapidly evolve things for some reason.
We don't really know what that means, but apparently people can get memories that they shouldn't have because of it.
So yeah, that was happening. So yeah, Thor's upset about his friends, and Odin is like, "Ah, you think they died, but actually when I woke up, I immediately sensed their plight and sent them to Earth, so they're fine."
That's fucking weak as shit.
Jerry.
Jer Bear, come on.
This is why Odin needs to stay dead. You know that, right?
This is dumb, obviously, but I do love that Thor's immediate concern was for his buddies.
Fair.
Very Thor.
Very Thor.
He asked permission to go meet them, which his father doesn't hesitate to grant. There's one more member of the posse missing, though, as the Thunder God prepares to leave and is interrupted by Balder. He wants to go to Earth, too, and even bothers to ask his lady first. She's a bit bitchy about it, but acquiesces, apparently starting to learn that she can't really control him in the way that she thought she could.
Oh well.
I think it's the case of if you love him, let him go, and if he comes back, you got him, girl.
Yep. Once they're gone, Karnilla asks if Balder can truly not see her love for him, and Odin is like, "Fuck if I know."
Yeah, what would Odin know about love?
They're literally the messiest couple who just try to pull everyone into their drama. And Odin is like, "No, thank you."
No, I think Odin is so unaware.
Too old for this shit.
Also, he's never known love. Sorry.
Fucking teenage drama.
What? He just made some children. He doesn't have... Thor doesn't have a mom.
He's a single dad.
And always a single dad.
He's unbearable.
He heads out to the balcony to observe his kingdom as everything is set to rights. The city is calm, and now he turns his thoughts to the plans he has set in motion on Earth.
The plan?
The Vizier questions this, but Odin remains cryptic, saying only that it's in Heimdall's hands now. His, and those that he sent to Blackworld. Speaking of which, the ladies and Silas, their friend Silas Grant.
The one guy with the boat.
The sea captain.
Yes, they are running for their lives as the subway tunnel collapses behind them. Their flight is cut off by Ego Prime crashing through the ceiling ahead of them, and for a moment all seems lost. But the creature's attention is drawn by an approaching train. Why are trains running right now? I don't know.
How do trains run with all this evolution?
The trains are just evolving with it.
Well, yeah, the fucking evolution ray, it affects, like...
Everything,
the surroundings, too.
So I guess the trains might have spawned into existence because of evolution.
Yeah.
And the people on them. Oh god, I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, that's how evolution works.
There used to be locomotives that ran underneath the city, too.
Uh-huh. That's definitely what happened. And I actually think that's probably what really did happen here. And it's just really dumb.
I don't think it's dumb. I think it's cool as shit.
Sure.
The party takes the opportunity to head down the tunnel as Ego Prime picks up the train, studies it, and then drops it with the disinterest of a child seeking better toys.
God.
Silas turns back out of concern for the passengers, but there is nothing they can do now. They must focus on preserving their own lives first and foremost. Now safely hidden, Sif and Hildegard demand answers from their Rigelian companion.
Yeah, what is she doing here?
Tana takes a moment to collect her thoughts, and then begins. Weeks ago, she was called for a meeting with the Grand Commissioner of the colonizers, who questioned her about her failed attempt to colonize Earth and the deal made with Thor to save them from Ego. As part of that deal, they swore to never again make moves on Earth. But after some time to stew on it, they're having second thoughts.
Of course, that's colonizers for you.
They're not completely stupid, though, so they come up with a clever plan. Tana was sent alone to the Black Galaxy, where...
Okay, alright, things are making more sense now.
Where she separated a chunk from Ego's surface. She took that living rock to Blackworld and released it. She noticed that its shape had changed, but apparently didn't think that was weird enough to investigate, and instead pumped power into it until it arced that power back out onto the world around them.
Again, this seems very much like a colonizer.
Yep.
Oh,
Causing
no.
the world and the primitive people in it to rapidly evolve. She was ecstatic. If such a result could be repeated and controlled, they could have any number of worlds previously unfit to conquer.
Tana,
you fucking idiot.
So your decision was to make more worlds to colonize.
Yep.
Oh God!
If you can't make your own, store-bought is fine.
Yet Ego Prime, possessed of a mind of its own, had other ideas. It continued to evolve the world around it, quickly growing out of control until the Asgardians found her trying and failing to stop its rampage. She says that the Prime Director knows what its goal is, apparently, but she doesn't. Hildegard hypothesizes that it may just be doing exactly what she wanted.
You know what she needs? She needs some pigs to go after the weasels that she released on the snakes.
But then what do you release on the pigs?
Bears.
What eats bear?
Man.
Hildegard hypothesizes that it may just be doing exactly what she wanted, turning this world into Earth. As they consider this, a newspaper floats by. Hildy holds it up and we read, "Nuclear war imminent," which seems bad.
She did her job too well.
It's fine. It's fine.
Sif starts to say something very alarming, but is cut off by an enormous nuclear explosion.
It's fine. It's all
totally
good.
fine. It's great.
Oh.
It's great even.
Meanwhile, on Earth, Thor and Balder fly around looking for their buds. They spot them on the street below, fighting some cars and yelling about Hades.
Oh my God.
Thor calms his friends, assuring them that they stand on the Earth, and a trucker who's gotten out of his vehicle is like, "Yeah, and I'm standing still, now get the hell out of the road."
Like, "Can't you see I'm driving here?"
They're so comfortable with this.
Thor begins to reassure the man, but is cut off by a sudden blinding light, followed by a wave of heat. Suddenly, Sif and company are on the streets of New York, the real New York, not the Blackworld clone, still being chased by Ego Prime as Sif calls a warning to her love.
Did they just get nuked?
Yeah.
Fucking shockingly, Odin didn't send them to Earth, he sent them to Blackworld, which is exactly Earth, which just held them until the problem could go beyond actual Earth. Shocking.
No.
No?
No, that's a good theory.
Okay.
But no.
Make me look like a fucking moron, why don't you?
Rip.
What did you guys think of that issue?
Fine. A little annoyed by, Odin's back from the dead, but it wasn't executed particularly poorly.
If Jerry starts doing that, killing Odin, bringing him back,
putting him on the revolving door.
yeah, then, Janger might start to become the thing.
The Janger Unchained.
Oh no. I hate that.
Numbers, ratings?
3.5.
3.
I'd give it a 2. I didn't care for
Wow.
it.
Ooh.
I do hate fucking Ego Prime.
Ego Prime is stupid.
Yes, Ego Prime is the dumbest thing Jerry's
But I've
done
come
so
to
far.
enjoy Tana Girl Boss style so much that I'm just glad she's back.
Yeah.
Even if it made very little sense for her to be there in the first place.
I love her so much.
Is it just me or has she gotten dumber?
She's always been this dumb,
She's
I think.
always been pretty dumb.
Hmm.
Let's move on to Thor number 202 from May of 1972. Written by Jerry Conway, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Vince Colletta, and lettered by Artie Simek.
Ego Prime versus the Earth. Why does he look like that?
Reunited and it feels so good. Reunited and it's understood. None dare stand against Ego Prime,
says Tana.
Says Tana.
I don't believe you, Tana. They appear to be standing against him.
Well, that's what she thinks, but the collective Asgardians just draw their weapons because they're built different.
They've never seen a fight they didn't want.
Except for Sif, who is trying to hold on to Thor.
Yeah.
Hold on to her mans.
Thor has some questions about what the fuck is going on.
That's fair.
And where the new arrivals just came from.
That's extremely fair.
But recognizes that they have bigger fish to fry, as Ego Prime lumbers his way toward them, glowing with energies yet untapped. Despite the situation, Sif attempts to give him the Cliff Notes. She tells him that this being is a piece of the living planet, and he's like, that tells me absolutely nothing, and throws his hammer at it. Mjolnir is repelled, or perhaps blown back, as a maelstrom whips up around the crystalline creature, signaling the imminent release of his evolutionary powers.
You know, I don't much care for the way Thor puts that. Nay, I must test its meat myself!
Oh, no, I didn't catch that part. It's meat. Really, it has meat. This has been a rock man this whole time.
It's rock meat.
I don't enjoy it.
That rock hard meat. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
You gotta put that in the fucking slow cooker for quite a while.
But he doesn't use his power to affect the world around him. No, this time the monster enacts change upon itself, drawing in the energy of the living earth to change its form to one much closer to human. Its fleshy appendages reach skyward as it declares, "I am Ego. I am power."
You are pink. like extremely pink, like
Very
Kirby
pink, yes.
levels of pink.
Well, I mean, he's Ego, so he probably does wow.
What the fuck was that?
Never mind, fuck you.
I got it. I just thought it was silly. Thor still wants to hear Sif's tale, but for now he directs his words to Ego Prime, asking what it is exactly and what it wants. Ego Prime reiterates that it is Ego, so that's great to know, and says that its plan is a simple one. Earth, like the living planet once was, is infested with humanity, and Ego Prime is here to fix that.
Fun!
So if you were laboring under the misapprehension that he's here to make friends, you can stop wasting time on that idea.
What?
I was never under that.
I never once considered he was here to make friends.
His plan for how exactly to accomplish this is kind of horrifying, both conceptually and visually. Basically, he's going to make humanity evolve so quickly that the world becomes choked with us, and we all die and decompose back into the earth. So that's cool. And then he's gonna absorb the earth into the bioverse.
Okay.
Sure, those are words.
Could
Yeah.
he not just do that anyway?
What do you mean?
Never mind.
No, I think he probably could.
Well,
He's
he just wants
mean.
the people to die.
Yeah.
He wants them to die before he does it. Because he's an asshole.
So Baldur and Thor are like, okay, cool, good plan. But what if we have something to say about that? And Ego is like, fuck you, and hits them with I-beams.
Oh no, beams.
Luckily, Hogan has a plan. He has started scaling a nearby building, and once he gets to the top, he leaps off to strike at Ego Prime's gigantic noggin.
Oh my god!
This would be a good plan, except for the fact that he yells about it while he's doing it, and completely gives up any element of surprise he may have had.
And Ego has hair tentacles.
Once again, I'd like to point out that Hogan's whole deal is supposed to be that he's quiet.
He yells a lot.
He sure does.
I'm extremely quiet, Hogan yelled.
You're the right guy to do that. You're the right one.
This gambit doesn't work out, as when Hogan lands on the beast's head, Ego's hair comes alive and coils around him, trapping him in place.
Don't like that.
Yeah, it's kind of gross.
Really don't like that.
From the ground, Thor sees this and immediately flies to rescue his friend. The hair begins to wrap around him as well, but a quick bolt of lightning from Mjolnir is enough to free them both. Ego Prime is like, damn, I really thought y'all were gonna let me kill you without fighting back.
Now I got a taste of laser hair electrolysis.
And he starts eye-beaming civilians on a nearby street. Horrifically, the people that he hits don't die, but transform into gruesome monsters in a sequence that's fairly graphic for this age of comics.
Yeah,
Wow, that is something.
The monsters advance on the remaining Asgardians, except for Volstagg, who hides in an alleyway. Not out of fear, though, or at least not entirely. Down the street, he spotted a young girl unattended and promising to protect her doll as the demons stride toward her.
Volstagg brave!
Oh my god, have we evolved beyond the era of Volstagg is a coward?
The Lion of Asgard rushes straight through the mangled monsters, knocking them all aside and grabbing the child as he runs past.
Volstagg loves babies!
He does! He
does.
is a great parent.
This is the first inkling of Volstagg's character.
Oh my god, this is the first time he's had the character that I've met.
Yes.
A newborn.
Reborn.
Yeah. Elsewhere, Silas Grant comes to the aid of Tana Nile. Though he feels conflicted about it, Tana is responsible for the chain of events that killed his people and his whole world, but he also recognizes that the situation was somewhat out of her control.
You know, the part where she let the evolution monster run wild, not the part where she was going to colonize it.
Yeah, so Blackworld, I guess, is destroyed, and the explosion somehow transported them to Earth. It's never explicitly explained, but that's what happened.
Genuinely, your explanation made way more sense. That this was actually Blackworld, that owed the symptom to Blackworld to solve,
that was more of a theory than an explanation.
I think it's correct.
It makes more sense. Like, this, that they got nuked from Blackworld and ended up on Earth is silly, and doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Well, Tana was doing as she was ordered, and at a certain point, there was no way to put Ego Prime back in the bottle.
Yes, she was just following orders. Great logic.
I remember what I was going to say. I love whenever we get, like, interdimensional refugees.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So now we've got Silas Grant.
Uh-huh.
Who is just not from Earth, but he's definitely human.
Yeah. We quickly flash through the battle to check on everybody who is unaccounted for. Baldur refuses to attack the monsters, who used to be innocent humans, because he's a Disney prince.
I mean, that's fair.
And he goes down swiftly, with thoughts of his love for Carnilla.
And I mean, that's fair.
Fandral fights on, wondering at the purpose of all this. Hildegard uses a car as a shield.
Good. Good.
Thor himself is engaged directly with Ego Prime, delivering blast after blast from his hammer. But as Sif notes, each blow seems only to feed the creature.
But
so
it's
maybe
fine.
stop doing that.
No, all he's got is a hammer, so every problem is a nail.
Well,
even if Ego eats nails.
Yeah, but like he could be hitting him instead of shooting him with beams.
Nah, it's good. This is the solution.
The Royal Vizier watches this futile battle on his magic TV.
Is this the royal flat screen?
If you have that.
Well, I don't think I do have the royal flat screen.
I thought I had a royal flat screen.
That's so sad.
That's really sad. I have a very Sif and Odin-centric board.
I have the royal flat screen.
He decides that he's seen enough. Action must be taken, lest Thor become a hapless victim of his own father's plot. Yet the Vizier dares not act directly against his king. He goes to seek audience with the Allfather to plead his case, but is turned away by the guards. He stalks through the halls of the palace, pondering his predicament, when he is drawn into a corner by the Norn Queen. After some prodding, he tells her everything, and she weeps for her love. Their words go not unheard by Odin himself, who sits by candlelight in his throne room, playing a game of chess with the lives of gods and men.
Against
Himself.
Odin.
Stop playing with their lives like that.
After a moment of silence, he moves to his balcony to view the far-off Earth. Meanwhile, on the planet, Heimdall pulls up to a tenement in Brooklyn. He asks the residents for the location of a man named Jackson Kimball, and is directed to apartment 6. Their journey nearly over, Heimdall raps on the door, feeling relief that he can return to his watch over the Bifrost soon. But Kamor warns him just in time as several bullets fly through the wooden door, narrowly missing the both of them.
Ah, it's a drive-by.
No, I think those are coming from inside the house.
They are coming from inside the apartment.
Also, would bullets hurt them?
Debatable.
If you shoot an Asgardian, do they notice?
Does he not bleed?
I tend to think no.
Yeah, I would also think no.
I feel like probably
They're very dense.
I think it probably doesn't hurt him, but it does feel like if you got shot with a bulletproof vest on.
Yeah, it probably doesn't feel great, but, like, it wouldn't injure them, I guess.
So, ow!
Yeah.
Ow, though!
Yeah.
It still bruises a little.
Well, that's enough of a welcome for Heimdall to bust down the door, shattering it to splinters. The occupant is a young man seated across from the entrance with a handgun. He's surprised to see them. They're not who he was expecting. As he realizes that he could have killed these two innocent strangers,
He couldn't have.
he seems to also rethink his plan to shoot the guy that he thought they were. The reality of the situation brings him back to better judgment as he explains that he was expecting a man called Baker, who he borrowed money from and who now wants him dead. The man in question was apparently on his way up. As he enters, gun drawn with several goons at his back.
Mm-hmm.
He threatens Jackie and Heimdall to boot, but the latter isn't in the mood for dealing with this bullshit and gives him a zap from his sword, which is disguised as a cane right now. The lackeys move to retaliate, but the diminutive Kamor takes them all out in a display of unexpected strength by picking one of them up and throwing him at the other two, causing all three to tumble down the stairs.
Sure.
Where the fuck did this guy come from anyway?
I don't know. He's just here now.
He feels like he's a reference for something, but it's the 70s and I don't know what the references are.
It's not a reference, he's just here now.
I know, no, but like his outfit feels like it's a reference to something.
Oh, he's
and
just
I
like
can't place it.
He's just a chauffeur.
No, but that is a reference to something. And
Okay.
I know it. I know it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay, well, Jackie Kimball is a pretty normal guy, so he has no idea what's going on.
That's fair. You did just witness magic.
Heimdall assures him that everything is fine, and they all need to be off now to join the others. Jackie has questions, but Heimdall is enough of an authority figure that he puts on a jacket and follows them anyway.
Also, if Baker's guys come back.
That's true. All the while, the battle continues. Baldur is back on his feet, right here,
Hey!
and the collective Asgardians struggle onward as Thor continues to attack the gigantic Ego Prime, who grows larger as he absorbs more energy around him. Thor flies into his mouth and zaps his throat.
Yeah, that's,
Which gives the giant pause, as it should, before he comes back with more eye-beams. This time, he targets some ants on the ground, causing them to grow huge and bloodthirsty.
Sure.
The group doesn't do very well against the ants.
Wow.
Pathetic.
Turns out, all you need to do to defeat Asgardians is giant ants.
Giant ants, yeah.
The fucking hive mind.
Thor watches them topple one by one.
Loki, are you watching? Because this is how you solve, this is how you become king of Asgard, with giant ants.
For no one to care.
True.
Ego Prime asks if he sees the futility of his actions, and is ready to give up now. And Thor's answer is no, obviously not. So Ego uses more beams to command the ground to surge up, trapping the Thunder God under a pile of rubble, as Sif screams from the sidelines because all she has done this whole issue is stand behind Thor and look scared.
Jerry?
Like, as soon as she saw him, she forgot that she can fight.
Jerry.
Sif is emotional because she's a woman.
Yeah.
Jerry.
Jerry.
You've had promise. You've had a flow to your stories that has been better than Stan's.
Also,
They connect better.
Can we call this thing with Jackie some outdated racism? Because it feels borderline.
What is feeling bad about it to you?
Well, he's this kind of thug guy sitting around with his afro and a gun ready to shoot the first guy who comes through his door because he's been up to crimes or crime-adjacent behavior.
I don't know, I think that behavior was pretty fair because it was like he borrowed money from a mob guy.
Alright,
I don't think that one's racist so much.
Feels weirdly borderline to me. I don't know.
I can see where you're coming from.
I see where you're coming from. I'm not sure.
And I'm not sure any of us are authorities on, is this racist?
Yeah, that's true.
I think we're all a little too white
Alright, let me ask the panel, is this racist?
The panel of white people gives a definitive answer.
Alright, guys, it seems like it's not racist.
Yep, we decided.
Yes, we have that power, apparently. God.
So what did you guys think of that issue?
I was underwhelmed.
I am getting underwhelmed by Jerry. You had promise.
I'm enjoying him better than I was enjoying Stan. May just be a fresh newness.
I think it has more to do with the way stories connect better.
Yeah.
And they don't just tend to end with... a story arc doesn't just end with, Odin solves everything or stops everything or whatever. So far, the Deus Ex Odin was in the middle.
Yeah, that was strange.
And it didn't stop the flow of the story, which is good, but I am also getting a little underwhelmed by this. I
think it's just this story I'm not enjoying.
Yeah, it's also a little reheated.
Mm-hmm. It does feel
it feels
back
like
to the books.
It feels like a reheated Stan story without being a Stan story. And what's worse is we actually had a pretty good Stan story for Stan.
You took all the nacho toppings and you put them on some fresh nachos, but it's still like day-old nachos.
Oh, that sounds disgusting. I've never had day-old nachos.
Anyway... yeah, I'm 2.5. It wasn't terrible, it just... bleh.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Let's slide into
Thor number 203 from June of 1972. Written by Jerry Conway, penciled by John Buscema, inked by Vince Colletta, and lettered by John Costanza.
What the heck's going on with this cover?
A lot. Sif tries desperately to pull the rubble off of her lover, even as he tries and fails to reach his hammer. His breath is fading, and he feels that his time is limited.
Well, at some point he should turn into Dawn.
You know, I can't believe
point.
that Stan was writing a better, more feminist Sif at some point.
Honestly.
You're not wrong, and it's unnerving.
Ego Prime helpfully explains that this was his plan.
Where did he get the clothes?
He just
had them.
He had them
last time, too.
He explains that this was his plan because he read Thor's thoughts and found out that separating him from Mjolnir was the key to victory.
He is on Earth. Is this why...
What?
This is why it wasn't on Blackworld, so he could have to worry about turning back into fucking Thor.
That's not just Earth.
Fine.
Anywhere that isn't Asgard.
Fine.
Okay, so Thor doesn't turn into Dawn for no reason. Thor
Wait
turns into Dawn for a reason.
Until we get there. Jesus. Getting ahead of me, man.
We're not reading ahead of you, it's just...
I know, you just are saying what's going to happen.
I'm sorry.
We're following it out to its logical conclusion.
Did you even get the part where Ego read Thor's mind?
Yes.
But
that was dumb.
Yeah, it was stupid.
I'm not saying it was good, I'm just saying fucking follow the goddamn plot.
I am. I'm ahead of you.
I spent hours preparing this, goddammit.
I believe you. It's just...
Baldur appears like, well, that explains a lot, but Sif says it doesn't matter right now and asks him to help her bring the hammer to Thor.
Guys,
come on.
They're desperate, okay?
Yo, and besides, if you need to move the hammer, move the earth under it.
The two of them grab the handle, but it doesn't budge. Sif is basically a blank slate at this point. I can see why she can't pick it up. On the other hand, I would normally come down hard on Baldur being worthy, but I think the situation with the Norn Queen and him renouncing Asgard and whatnot may have complicated things just enough.
Renouncing Asgard, trying to renounce the Norn Queen, he's kind of been...
He's a little bit messy.
He's gotten a little bit more gray.
Yeah.
He's been a bit of a messy bitch.
I'm into it.
Ego Prime takes this moment to go on a rant, as he's been doing this entire time, and it's just not very interesting.
Yes, Grandpa, we know you hate
all
life.
flesh will become one!
Yeah.
Have you heard one of these days?
We've heard your QAnon rants. We know what you're about.
Yeah, we get it. Balder challenges him because he's a Disney prince, and Ego is like, look around you, dude. Your buddies are all defeated, and you haven't fared much better.
He's got really short fingers.
Sif is absolutely no help in this situation. Even Thor is helpless to do anything, trapped as he is. Not so, cries Thor, for you see, the fateful 60 seconds have passed. And with an expulsion of energy, he reverts to the form of Donald Blake.
I don't remember there being an explosion of energy around this before.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember that either.
That's a pretty big contrivance. Our buddy Don hasn't been around much lately, but don't get comfortable because he just picks up the cane and turns back into Thor.
Of course he does.
This is silly, but it's not the worst case of this happening, but I do think you can mark off Thor turns into Don for no reason. I think that's fair.
If he was going to do something as Don.
Right. But he didn't. He just...
I don't have that. I have, oh no, I'm stuck as Don.
I actually do have Thor turns into Don for no reason.
Eventually, Don will become a prominent character again, but right now, he's just not.
I miss him.
I know.
I'm starting to understand what you missed about him.
Yeah.
Thor needs
He
him.
really grounds the story and the character.
Even if Don is doing horrible medical things with Doctor Doom.
Right.
It also brings us back to Earth, which is,
Mm-hmm.
like you said, it grounds him, and it makes his adventures connected to the rest of the Marvel Universe.
Right. Sif and Thor embrace, briefly, before the latter joins with Balder to rush into battle once more, and Sif does nothing because she's useless. Back to the B story, with Heimdall and Kamor.
Why don't you just send her home?
Which, in case you forgot, is not concurrent with the A story. In fact, the text says it was 96 hours ago, specifically.
That's a very specific.
So,
Okay.
So Odin set this up 96 hours earlier.
A week ago, yeah.
Well, he's been playing chess, don't
Yes.
you know?
Yeah. Apparently chess by mail.
Jackie has some questions. I'm personally still questioning why he got in the car with two random strangers.
I don't know. I think he was worried that more guys were going to come for the money.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
But none of us are going to get an answer. The faithful watchman has apparently decided to go by the name Hemidall while in disguise, which is, like, not a real name.
Right, that's so much less
Hemi-doll.
conspicuous than Heimdall.
Anyway, they drive back to the boat that they arrived on, and as soon as Jackie steps on it, the illusion falls away to reveal the longship that it actually is. They begin to enter the cabin, which longships don't actually have, and are greeted by someone with a poorly drawn AK that they are holding the wrong way, while demanding to know who the newcomers are.
I mean, it looks more like an old grease gun than an AK.
Yeah, I don't know what it is.
And you don't hold any of these things by...
I guess it's not a good day.
Yeah, there were no gun nerds here.
Heimdall drops his disguise to the relief of those present. The man holding the gun, Carter Diem, or Diem, I don't know, and a woman named Chilo. Jackie would still like to know what the fuck is going on, and now, who are these people? Heimdall introduces Miss Lowe for her, knowing that her English is limited. We have no idea where she's from other than that it's a small fishing village. We do know that she went to the Mainland University in Tokyo, which raises some issues. First of all, being that Tokyo is not on the mainland.
Right, no, it's all islands.
Also, it's literally on the coast.
And second of all, being that Chilo is not a Japanese name.
No.
Tokyo is literally has a bay.
Yeah.
Mainland, what?
Anyway, Heimdall found her and recruited her for something or other. Carter is apparently Israeli, a member of the army who fought for his... Yeah, he really looks it, doesn't he?
Uh-huh, that blonde...
The blonde Israelis.
I was looking to see if he had blue eyes to go with the blonde hair.
He's that guy from Wolfenstein.
God.
You know, the racism one, I think I'm feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I'm into it.
Especially
These ones, absolutely.
Yeah, like, I wasn't sure about the guy Heimdall just picked up, but
Jackie.
but
Jackie.
but these
But
two.
these two, for sure, yeah.
That's...
Well, Carter is a member of the Israeli army who fought for his people long enough to grow sick of war. He too was approached by Heimdall and offered something.
Heimdall's weird Avengers.
Right.
These are the weirdest Avengers I have ever seen.
Okay, says Jackie. You've got a farmer and a fighter. That's great. What do you want with me?
A gambler.
Especially when we still haven't explained a single goddamn thing about what we're actually doing.
Oh my god, we're getting a heist crew together.
And I just noticed that his name changed from Jackson to Jason.
Okay.
I'm going to keep calling him Jackie, because I like that better.
Yeah, I like that.
You're pulling more Stan shit. Now you're forgetting names.
Right. Anyway, Heimdall says he's an artist, or used to be, but he urges Jackie to recall that part of himself.
He's totally putting together a heist.
Let's return to Odin, brooding alone over his chessboard. His thoughts are abruptly cut short as Carnilla flings open the doors to the throne room, telekinetically throwing his guards, and walks over to fling the pieces onto the floor.
Right, because Carnilla doesn't give a fuck what the guards say.
So if you have Carnilla is that
yes,
bitch,
she is
mark it
definitely
up.
that bitch.
Indeed have that.
She wants answers, goddammit. What has Odin done with Baldur? What is his plan? The vizier comes in after her like, oh geez, sorry boss, I didn't know she was gonna do that. As he approaches, though, he finds the pieces on the floor and is taken aback. Surely Odin would not do this, would not play the game, causing us all to lose it.
Oh
no! How dare you! Jerry! Jerry, no! How did you predict this?
Carnilla is like, stop talking nonsense and just tell me where my man is! And Odin is like, okay, fine, don't cry about it, jeez.
Again, she's that bitch from that couple that's like, I don't know where he is, he's not answering his phone!
You know where he is, you sent him there. Wherever there is, tell me where there is.
He activates a crystal ball, which is either painted to look like Earth or just projecting an image of Earth. I'm not sure.
Maybe it's just his globe.
Yeah, it could be a globe, but it zooms in and shows them what's happening. Together, Thor and Baldur, and Sif, who has a sword out of nowhere.
Oh!
Thank God.
The three of them defeat the giant ants before turning their attention back to Ego Prime.
Who is now slightly less pink.
Yeah, he's more flesh-colored now.
Good.
I guess they realized he was uncomfortably pink.
Ants.
I have no earthly idea what you are referencing.
It's a promo for the first Ant-Man movie. The best promo for any movie in the universe.
We gotta remember to watch that after this ends. I'm gonna pull it up on my computer so I don't forget.
Fair.
Ego chucks a building at them, but Thor shatters it with a bolt of lightning. Mjolnir sails through the air, giving the giant a bonk on the noggin that sends him flailing backward. Carnilla would like to know just who the fuck that is, and how he factors into Odin's plan, and Odin is like, he's part of the plan, and still doesn't answer anything. The fight continues, and through a series of events, Ego grabs Thor and attempts to crush him. Baldur steps forth to deliver a mighty blow, freeing his friend. Heimdall and his posse approach, knowing that the time to enact the plan is now. All their preparation has led to this.
What plan?
Odin's plan. The plan that has been planned, that they are a part of. Odin's plan.
The plan that we haven't really...
The plan to poison Kuzco. Kuzco's poison plan.
That's what this is.
That's what this is.
Oh god, we have Disney Plus. I could watch that anytime I want.
Put it on repeat.
Silas and Tana manage to retreat and hide in a nearby building while the latter tries to fix her blaster. Volstagg stands guard over his charge, watching as the battle draws closer. His chief concern now is keeping this girl safe, and the way to do that is to move somewhere safer. Clutching at his huge hand with her small one, the girl leads him to a spot where she likes to play when her auntie doesn't want her around. They descend, and outside there is a sudden and ominous hush. Enough, says Ego Prime. He has dealt with these fools long enough, and in a fit of tempestuous fury, he lashes out his evolutionary energy at a bright beam at Heimdall's crew, who have arrived at some point, I guess. The light envelops them, and then dies. And then Ego realizes his mistake as he simply fades from existence.
Oh, okay.
This is the second
What?
villain in a short time span who has done this.
Um...
Thor is like, What the fuck was that?
Did he just try to evolve gods?
And Sif is like, who cares? Kiss me, you big mug.
I care.
But their celebration gets cut short by Baldur drawing their attention to the 3 mortals in Heimdall's company, each of which has been transformed. Thor would like to know what the fuck is going on. So would I. Luckily, Odin appears in the sky to explain things, finally.
Odin in the sky with diamonds.
Yes.
But I don't think I have it.
I don't
Damn.
think I have that one either.
He says that Chi, Carter, and Jackie have been transformed by Ego Prime to the higher form of humanity, which I
What?
guess means they've been turned into gods. This was all part of Odin's plan, which he put into motion even before the whole man-god business.
Carter's looking pretty cool, though.
He does look cool, yeah. So does Jackie, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I like his look. It's the reason he sent Thor to World's End, Sif to Blackworld, and Heimdall to Earth. All that in service of creating these young gods who will breathe new life into the cosmos. Just looking to get some new hires in to introduce some fresh ideas, you know? This explanation is a bit lacking. And the good thing for us is, Thor thinks so too.
Wait, what? Thor isn't putting up with this bullshit for once?
Yep. He asks, what of the destruction of Earth? To which Odin responds that he will make everything as it was, of course. But this doesn't assuage the God of Thunder, who feels somewhat used. He and his friends could have died, and for what? Only to be used as unwitting pawns in service of a larger game? Was Odin completely certain that they would all survive, or did he just not care?
Oh my god. This just turned everything... I know why Jerry did this.
Alright.
Uh-huh.
Jerry did all of that. He told the Stan story all for this one
In
moment.
critique.
It is a big payoff, isn't it?
Very good.
For the first time, Thor doesn't just accept the bullshit that his dad does.
That's what the setup was for. He had to do it that way.
It's a meta-narrative.
If he didn't tell a Stan story in the way Stan used to tell them, in the jank Odin saves the day with his little plot that Thor is only a small cog in the machine, and who cares what happens to Thor, because as long as the plot works, it's fine, and he'll fix it when it's over, it's cool, it's fine. You can't get to Thor is fed up with Odin's bullshit if you don't do all the rest of it.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit.
I'm into it. I'm very into it. I love we're doing meta critique here.
Right?
Excellent.
Honestly, the best Thor and Loki comics are a meta critique on some level, in my opinion. So, what would you guys rate this one?
4.
4.5.
Well, I had some issues with, I would have liked a little bit more, like, evidence of favor upon them, other than Heimdall just showing up, and especially, like, there was very little at all for what's-her-name.
Yeah, I would love some further explanation about the whole thing with the people being turned into gods.
Right, I don't
And,
have
like,
much explanation, even with Jackie, even
literally-
though we spent all the time with Jackie. We don't really know anything about Jackie's deal, other than
Why do we
being
care
dead.
about them? Why do we care about them? Literally, what was the point of all this? Just to make some gods?
No, I think that's why I like it so much, because the point is that they don't matter as far as
Right.
Thor's concerned. They aren't important. That they were Odin's plan.
It's
this is
very
called
annoying
Thor.
as a reader, though.
Yeah, but remember, this is called Thor. This isn't called Odin.
Yeah. I'm still standing at a 4. There were some execution things I didn't love, but
even-
as a whole,
and
I love the idea.
Even
I mean, it's really that last couple pages that makes it good.
yes,
Yeah.
it's this.
Without the last couple pages, this would
This
just
would have
be
been
a fucking stock standard,
but
boring story.
But that's the thing. I think he needed to tell.
I understand what you're saying. I get
Yes.
it.
And that's
We
why
follow.
Sif was so useless the whole time. It had to be a Stan.
Possibly.
It could. She didn't have to be, but it leans into the meta narrative.
Well, we will wait and see if that is a part of
Yeah,
it or
we'll
not.
That is true, isn't it? We'll see, but I wonder, was this truly a meta critique on previous Thor, or does this just look like a meta critique?
No, I think it's critique.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it is a true metacritique, then Sif becoming useless fits. Because that's a problem with older
It fits,
Thor.
but I can't say if it was planned to fit that way.
We gotta wait and see kind
We're gonna
of
have to
what's
see
the
if she stays useless or not.
long-standing trend.
Or if she
Right.
grows. If she's
Right.
capable of growth.
So, yeah, I'd give that a 4. And that's it.
Wow.
All right, cool. That was fun.
I had chills. Good chills, mind you, not bad ones.
It's been a while.
It's been
a while here on Thor.
Yeah, since Thor affected me.
When was the last time?
Thor's been kind of...
We were really excited at something a while ago.
The better Galactus.
Yeah, okay. Well, whatever. Let's,
Tell me, noble Odin, beloved father, faithful liege, wert thou certain that all thy precious pawns would survive thy planning and plotting? Or didst thou not even care?
Odin looks so fucking annoying.
And I mean, there's a reason the next title is Exile on Earth.
Yeah,
I
we can
guess
take a
next
guess.
time we can cross off Odin takes Thor's powers.
Well, not necessarily.
He can be banished to Earth without losing powers.
That's true. He does that sometimes.
But then he might be stuck as Dawn.
We'll see. We'll see where we go.
God, if only Volstagg had been a coward, you would have gotten Mingo.
I know.
But Volstagg is growing as a character.
Was brave.
He was brave and good and protected a child whose aunt didn't want her.
Brave and good and pure.
Well, sometimes you just want a kid out of the house because they're being annoying.
Yeah, but I don't think that's what was happening there.
No, that wasn't the implication, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw enough of the text in there to think, oh no, this is an abused child.
Obviously, next week, well, this week that this episode is coming out, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is coming out. So next episode, look forward to us talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep, that'll happen.
Yep, that will happen.
That's gonna happen.
For some reason, I thought that we were going to be seeing it this week. I've been seeing too much media
I
about
was
it.
thrown off too, honestly.
But it doesn't come out until next week. I don't know what they're doing.
If you want to see Odin's pissed off little face at the end.
You want to see his disgust.
We are, over on YouTube, we put out a video version of the podcast where we include little clips of the things we're talking about so you can see them for yourself.
And oh boy, is Odin in the sky with diamonds pissed.
I really like his face up in that upper left corner.
Just the eyes.
That's really cool looking. Very expressive. Yeah, if you want to see that, join us over there. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, comment. We'd really like some of that interaction so other people can see us. And we can talk more about comics to then. Also.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I am sounding very natural and human right now.
Yes.
Send us an email.
Send us an email at comicsplaining.com.
And we
No.
comicsplaining@gmail.com, fellow humans.
And we will prove to you that we are human. We
just need
definitely
you to solve
human.
this puzzle for us because we can't get into this email account for some reason.
We don't...
Please help us.
Tell us which one of these is motorcycles. Please, help us.
How many of these things are bikes?
We swear we know. We definitely know.
It's a test to see if you know.
Yes.
We're also on social media. We're on Tumblr, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
In theory.
In theory.
It's been cold. Not much for Instagram.
Yeah, we could take pictures of our flowers.
Yeah, we got flowers today.
So not great Instagram fodder for a comic book podcast.
No.
Could take pictures of Diamond Patch, my Funko Pop.
God.
Yeah, so social media. Share with your friends, write your congressperson, tell the Canadian Prime Minister.
Tell him that his father showed up in a Marvel comic.
Write it down on a suggestion card at your restaurant.
Get it, girl.
Go to Comicsplaining, listen to the podcast, great shit. If you want to join us over on Discord, if you just ask, I will give you a bingo card and you can play bingo along with us. Anyway, that's going to be it for us this week. We look forward to talking to you next week. Bye!
Bye.